In
Well, I certainly hope all of you are enjoying this evening, the wonderful food, the music, and your friends. I hope many of you will have the opportunity to meet and congratulate our guests of honor cited earlier. But we do have some unfinished business from the awards earlier. So Umberto, could you please come up?
Thank you, Howard. We found that the award fairy something here. I would ask Urshan Telesoy from Merck to come over here. All right, the award fairy left something for you here. And it is an award to Merck and Company. The standing as a global, it's recognizing too, and well, here is, we still haven't found anything here for here's Biopium. Recognizing its standing as a global research-driven pharmaceutical and chemical company, discovering, developing, manufacturing, and marketing medicines for benefit of human and animal health. This award is for Merck as a World Health Information for Patient Education on the Internet, and his determination as a corporate leader dedicated to putting patients first truly makes a difference in the health of man in the 21st century. Urshan, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you again. Quite an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Somehow that plaque got left in the podium here. We have one more special guest tonight, without whom this evening simply would not have occurred. Our founder and our leader, Dr. George Hambrick. George. George has dedicated his life to giving, to bettering the human condition through medicine. And as Winston Churchill said, a man makes a life by what he gets, makes a living by what he gets, but he makes a life by what he gives. And George is a living embodiment of that. George, you already know much about George from the biography in tonight's program. That's provided you have those bifocals that magnify the text. But what you don't know is that George is a true friend and perhaps the most generous person I know. As just one measure of his stature, Cornell University named its chair in dermatology in his honor, recognition usually reserved for donors. The other day, George said one of his proudest moments was transforming Cornell's dermatology studies from a sub-department to a full-fledged entity. And just last year, George was honored by Johns Hopkins as its Distinguished Alumnus of the Year, the university's highest honor, recognizing his extraordinary career and achievements. But for us, George, you're much more than the excellence of your accomplishments. You're the man that each of us on the board of directors is privileged to assist. So, George, on behalf of all of us, I want to be the first to wish you a very, very happy birthday and many more to come. George, we love you.
Thank you, Howard. Being halfway through the 9th decade of life is an achievement in itself. I'm very proud of that. I'm looking at the decade, the 10th decade, and hope to go halfway through that. I was last in this room, I think, in 1951, when Elizabeth, Queen of England, was a visitor here with her mother and her sister way back in 1950-51. This has been an overwhelming occasion for me. Hard to believe that I could foresee this. I never did, but I am here. And I first want to thank Her Grace the Duchess of Marlborough for being our honorary chair. Thank you. Needless to say, the co-chairs, Mary Ann and John Castle, Abby and Howard Muhlstein, have carried off a spectacular event. It will never be equaled. Thanks to John Conley, the Master of Ceremonies, for all his guidance and all his generosity. And I thank all of you who took a night out of your busy, busy New York lives to come here and celebrate this 20th anniversary. I would also thank my family for being here and my extended family. I have many residents, post and past here. Many staff, all past, are here tonight, and I thank them all. I no longer have any staff. Historically, 20 years ago, Peter Bentley, Martin Carter, whose wife is here tonight, Jill, Sidney Wood Cahusac, who was the vice president at Rockefeller for counsel, a lawyer who later became an Episcopal minister in Greenwich, Connecticut, and myself met Piccolo Mondo. Anybody who was here 50 years ago will know where Piccolo Mondo was. It was at 68 and First Avenue. And there we formed the American Skin Association. And it was formed to give a foundation that would allow volunteers from all walks of life to have a dedicated part in playing a role in the country's handling our agenda for betterment of skin health. To this end, I think we have been successful. I thank all the previous chairs, Peter Bentley, who was the president of the Herzog Foundation, who gave at least 18 professorships of dermatology across this country from the Carl Herzog Foundation in the last 30 years. He was our guiding light. Without him, we wouldn't be here tonight. He's still alive in Exeter, still very responsive, and still very aggressive. Hazard Gillespie, who's still here at 93, still very alive and still very aggressive. A wonderful chair for many years. And David Lyons, who had a short vintage with us, who served us admirably. And of course, this Howard. You can't talk about Howard because there's nothing to compare him with. He's a current chair for 5 years, and he is a visionary leader. He is innately endowed with that capability. Thanks to his parents, Paul and Irma, you made a great contribution to the world. And of course, I have to say to the current and past board members, without you, we couldn't have done it. Without you in the future, we can't do it in the future. It takes some time, it takes money, it takes dedication, and many of you have evidenced great skills at doing these things. Thanks to you all. Finally, I would say thanks to the Medical Advisory Committee and the New York Academy of Medicine, who have gendered and directed our programs over the years. where we are educating children and we are supporting researchers in fundamental basic science research. I want to thank Joyce Weidler. She didn't want me to do this, but she's been around 20 years, and she looks like she's still 22. She's somewhere over here. She has been devoted to the cause. Many people think the ASA is Joyce Weidler, not George Hambrick. So, in the residents that taught me so much, I thank you for turning out tonight. I always loved you. And finally, I must say to the Doug Loy and the Margaret Crickby and the Merck Company, you have brought great honor to American skin. We will treasure your being here, and you will long be regarded heroes of science. Now to the future, which is the most important thing. The future is right now. The ASA is on a track that belongs to you, all of you who are here as guests, all of you who are as donors, and I thank you. The road ahead is onward and upward. Maggie Mahoney and I have quoted that to each other for many years. Maggie Mahoney is celebrating her birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday, Maggie. Onward and upward has been a motto of my entire life. Dream and then work to make your dreams come true. That's what I'm still doing. The rocks in the road I stopped counting years ago. And sometimes when it gets dark, I always pray for the light to break through, and it usually always does. American Skin Association is in great hands. Howard and the board and our medical advisory committee and our partners. I wish you well. Thank you very much.
Now, George, you know, I normally take my marching orders from you, but sometimes from Maggie Grove. We have to thank Maggie. And Maggie told me I have to lead everybody in singing a song. And you know what that song would be tonight?
No.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear George. Happy birthday to you.
Two candles. And enjoy the rest of the evening.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's no question that George Hambrick is a physician of talent and vision and supreme dedication, and he is an inspiration for us all. But I am glad there weren't 85 candles on that cake, George. And let me just close with a couple of comments that underlie why we're here this evening, not only to recognize the wonderful honorees and the founder of the organization, but George founded this organization for you. And he founded it for me. And he founded it for millions of other people who will benefit from what this wonderful organization does. And people like Howard Milstein and Marianne and John Castle devote their time, their talent, and their energy for you. You should know that tonight we all share a birthday, and it's not just George's birthday. We share an important birthday that we should be aware of, and most of us are not. Your skin, my skin, all of our skin is tonight probably about 4 to 6 weeks old, at least the epidermis is. And we should celebrate that. Now, as you know, the skin renews itself about every 4 to 6 weeks, at least the upper layer. And tonight, some of us are showing a lot of skin, and we thank you ladies for that. Others are covering it, some hide it, most of us abuse it, and yet there it is in its full activity, protecting us day in and day out from disease, from sun, from much more. And yet, do we really appreciate our skin? And after all, that's why we're here tonight, and that's part of the mission of this important group. So as you appreciate this organization and its talented and dedicated people, and as you appreciate each other, don't forget to appreciate your skin. Now, with that brief commercial message, enjoy the evening, and don't forget, this is an event, it's a celebration, it's a party, so stay and have fun. Thank you.